Sweden are in search of a new manager after they sacked Jon Dahl Tomasson. Our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solokol, is with us. Now listen, they've got Isak, they've got Gyökeres, they've got great players. Why have they had such a terrible time in qualifying?
Look, that's a really good question. It looks like they're going to miss out on qualifying for the World Cup next summer. They missed out on qualifying for the last Euros. They missed out on qualifying for the last World Cup as well. And today they have sacked their manager, Jon Dahl Tomasson. He was their first foreign manager, great Danish player. I think it was a little bit controversial when he got the Sweden job, and results in qualifying have been terrible. Even though, as you said, they've got players like Alexander Isak, Viktor Gyökeres up front last night, they still somehow managed to lose 1-0 at home to Kosovo. That has left them rock bottom in Group B with 1 point from 4 games. And the Swedish FA decided that they had to do something. And that meant sacking Tomasson. I think the first time they've ever sacked a manager, Sweden, and saying, look, we've still got a small chance of qualifying for the World Cup, but what we need to do is get a new manager before the next international break next month. And if you look at that table, you're thinking, how are they going to qualify for the World Cup? Well, look,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, if they win their next 2 games next month, their remaining 2 games against Switzerland and Slovenia, potentially they could get 7 points, which would get them that playoff place. But they also have a safety net because they did so well in the UEFA Nations League. At the moment, it looks like they would get a place in the playoffs anyway, because UEFA have said the teams that played really well, finished top of their groups in the Nations League, will get a place, 4 of them, in the qualifying playoffs as well. So Sweden still have a chance. And the FA have decided what we need to do is say goodbye to Mr. Tomasson and try and bring a new manager in very, very quickly.
Well, it looks like we've been showing this picture, so I'm guessing that Graham Potter's in the frame. Well,
Graham Potter has been quoted today in the Swedish media. Remember, he's been out of work for only a month. He was sacked by West Ham. He has told Swedish media, I'm open to anything where I feel I can help. It's a fantastic job. I have feelings for Sweden. I love the country and I love Swedish football. He also went on to say that financially he doesn't really need to work again. So the next job would have to be something that was really special to tempt him to return to the dugout.
And he's got history in Sweden, hasn't he?
Exactly. He was manager, I think, for 6 years of Östersund before he moved to Swansea City, Brighton, Chelsea and West Ham. At the moment, it looks like he's open to the prospect of moving pretty quickly from difficult times at West Ham to this job at Sweden. For what it's worth, I think the Sweden job at the moment is even more difficult than the West Ham job he had.
But he needs to get his reputation back, doesn't he? He needs to have a success at the next club he's at, surely.
Well, it depends what he wants to do. You know, he, as somebody who's left Premier League clubs, the way contracts for managers work is that, you know, your contracts are paid up. So financially, he said himself, I think he's set up for the rest of his life. So it's not like he's under pressure to have to work again. I think if he feels like this is right for him, perhaps he needs to move out of the Premier League. Perhaps he wants to try his hand at international football. And I think, you know, he's obviously somebody who's got strong bonds with Swedish football and is still very, very popular in Sweden. Maybe it would be the right move for him. But if they do decide to approach him, he has to make his mind up very, very quickly because looking at their fixtures now, they've got this game away at Switzerland next month and a game at home against Slovenia. So they need to act very, very quickly if they're to have any chance of qualifying for the World Cup next summer.